Hey everybody, it's Loren here from Lazy Coffee Princess, and today I am here with my September wrap-up and my October TBR. So I have read about 5 or 6 books this month. I was very pleased with myself. I got halfway through the Mortal Instruments series, and I have a huge stack of books I'm hoping to read in October. So let's just go ahead and get started, right? Let's go. So the first book that I finished in September was Wormwood. This book is about a post-apocalyptic world that has to do with the final judgment days according to Christianity, and it's not a super religious book, so trust me. I also did a review on this book and I read it for the Reading Quest. I forgot the name of it for a second. I read it for the Reading Quest. It was such a good book. Go check out my review if you want more information on it, okay? So the next books that I read was the Mortal Instruments series. Now, I started reading these back when I was about 14, so 4 or 5 years ago, I'd guess. And I had finished The City of Bones, and I kind of didn't like the way that it had ended. They'd just been sitting on my bookshelf for a while, and after hearing Emma's books talk about, like, you know what, if she likes it this much, I might as well try it. Newsflash, I loved the first book, loved the second book, and I had to go get the third book. There was a change in the spines, which irks me to no end, which means I'm just going to have to scour the internet to find a matching series of these, and I'll have to go to Barnes & Noble and get a matching series of these. So I'll have 2 series of the Mortal Instruments, because I am absurd. Anyways, I really liked those books. They were really nice. Well, not nice. I just like the whole world and how it is magical realism. I always, during fall, I always get super into the whole fantasy world, and then, you know, in winter I get more into like contemporary fiction and teen and contemporary YA fiction. But then in spring it starts all over again, and then in summer I usually love historical fiction. I don't know why that is. Don't ask me. Oh my gosh! I always do that. I never plug in my lights. So the next book that I finished in September was Made You Up by Francesca Zappia, and she also wrote Eliza and Her Monsters. This book is about a girl who has schizophrenia, and she's in her senior year of high school, and there's this boy that she found whenever she was in a supermarket when she was like 6 or 7, 8 or 9, something like that. And so she thinks that he was one of her schizophrenic images or hallucinations, I guess it would be, because he just disappears. Her mom never mentions it, but then she starts this new school and suddenly this boy is there. So I don't really have any way to be like, this was really good, accurate representation, or it wasn't. I just really liked the storyline and how she had to find, you know, how she just kind of had to find everything out. It was a very good book, and now I know that I'm definitely going to have to pick up Eliza and Her Monsters, also by Zappia, before this year ends, because it was such a quick and easy read, but it was so fulfilling. I also finished Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I had started this book, and I was halfway through it when the Reading Quest started. And I don't usually like reading more than 1 book at a time, or just like focusing all my energy on like 3 or 4 books. I do just 1, and that's what I do. Halfway through it, so I started it all over again about a week ago, and I got through it so fast. I love the vibes. I love how it ended. I will ship everybody in it forever. I literally cried when the horrible thing that happened, because it changed everything. Okay, and then the next book that I literally just finished this book last night. I'm filming this in September, so I'm going to count it as a September read since it technically was. It was Landline by Rainbow Rowell. Now, if you saw my haul video I got this book from my Barnes & Noble from pickup line with a book, and, you know, it's all wrapped up and it's only a line from the book and the price, and you get to go off that. I coincidentally wanted to read this book. I didn't pick it up while I was, walking through their shelves. I went downstairs to get a cup of coffee and I saw it on the table. I was like, oh, okay. So, I bought it and it was this book. So it was like the world just was like, Lauren, you need to read this book. Well, I read this book and I understand why so much because, all these books, they make relationships seem so easy and so beautiful and so great. And this touches on the part of relationships, especially after long periods of time when you just, you're just rocking with the flow. And it talks about their marriage, which I'm not married. I've never been married up to this point. So it's like, I can't fully relate with the children and the marriage and everything, but it's like, it's showing that, even if you do come apart, but if you love a person enough, you can always get back to them. But it was so good, and literally I finished this book last night and I just had all the feels and the happy gooey and the happiness, and I cried. I don't know why Rainbow Rowell always does that to me. I've cried at all 4 of her books that I've read, and oh my god, I love them. Okay, so that's it for what I've read in September. It seems like a pretty big stack. That's a lot of pages for me to have read. I went a little bit crazy. Here is my October TBR, and I'm being very hopeful, and I added a couple more. So the first book that I want to read in October, and I've actually already started it, but, what happens, is One Dark Throne by Kendare Blake. And I have the sleeve taken off of it because I don't like to read my books. So I'm about 10% of the way through this right now, and I'm already loving it. I like how she's connecting the first book to this one, and I'm really ready for all the drama to start happening since the first book was mostly story and world building, and it's the first book, so you're trying to get through it, and then this one is so good. I think it's a trilogy or a series? I don't know. Sorry, I haven't done my research on that. So the next book that I want to read, or technically reread, I wish I had enough time to go through and reread the Throne of Glass series. I really do, because I want to read Tower of Dawn, but I feel like, it's been a year and I binged on that whole series, so that I could get Empire of Storms when it came out because I fell in love with the series, and, Sarah J. Maas's writing is like crack. Once you have one, you got to have the rest of them. So I had to honestly think about, okay, so this is the book that I'm going to be reading before I read Tower of Dawn. And so I was like, I need something that will get me back into the whole world and the whole ideas. So I did Heir of Fire, and this was the book that made me keep reading. I felt like it'd be a good refresher on the whole world, everything that would be going on, and if I really want to, I can go back and reread Empire of Storms. Also, if you guys don't follow my Instagram, you should, but on there I've been talking about how I've been having an obsession with Vikings lately. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it started in one of my classes where we had to read some poetry that was like Old English poetry from Vikings and everything. I don't know if it was from that or just like the whole vibe of fall makes me really want to wear like big fuzzy sweaters and act like a Viking. Not that I will, but anyways, so I thought that the perfect read for this, since I haven't read it yet, would be Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. And so this just talks, it's nonfiction, it's the stories about all their gods. I think I'm gonna really love it. Anyways, I'm looking forward to this, and it's not that big of a book, so I think I can knock it out in a couple days. Continuing on the whole Viking vibe that I've had lately, I want to read The Last Kingdom by Bernard Cornwell. Now, this book was the book that inspired a series on Netflix called The Last Kingdom. I originally started watching that back in May, I think it was. I started watching it in May, and I loved it. I got through the first season and at the end, I was watching, I was like, all inspired based on the book by Bernard Cornwell, and I was like, oh crap, that just happened. So of course I had to go to Barnes & Noble, and I was like, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, book God, please forgive me, because I watched the movie before I read the book, or watch a series before I read the book. So upset with myself, I would not let myself watch season 2, Newsflash, I watched season 2. I'm very weak in willpower, okay? We're not going to talk about it. Anyways, I am really looking forward to reading this book. It's just about British and these Viking Danes, and it's about their whole religious struggle between Christianity and pagans and their power for land and glory and money and power and everything. So I'm very excited about it. The last book that I am hoping to read in October is Girl at War by Sarah Novic. So this book is a coming-of-age story about a girl who is growing up in her country where a civil war has started. That's all I kind of really know besides the super awesome cover, and I've heard really good things about it. I just really want to read it. It's been on my TBR since it first came out, so that has to mean something, right? It does. Okay guys, so that's it for my September wrap-up and October TBR. If you would like to keep up with me and all of my crazy shenanigans that I do, go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and go ahead and look at my blog, which is down in the comments below. If you just still can't get enough of me, go ahead and hit that pretty little subscribe button right below somewhere. I don't know. Somewhere. What you read in September and what's on your October TBR, I would love to hear, and if you have any suggestions, also let me know if you know of any really good Viking books I might be interested in, because I can't get my fill of it, and so I need all the Vikings for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, so that's it for this video. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!
Pick up my phone, I'll go straight to airplane mode. Find something to do, I know I can be a little bit cold, but my third eye is going blind. I'm on a line with my body and mind, it's playing tricks. I say I'm fine.